Howdy, folks. Good to be with you. Welcome to another edition of Sticks-n-Stonez. While I pull up my live stream on YouTube. No, I don't need picture-in-picture. It's a little windy today. Actually, now it's raining. I don't know if you've heard or not, but there was some massive flooding down in Kerrville, Texas, which is down southwest of San Antonio. At least 24 people killed. They've got about another 24 teenagers missing because there was a camp right on the river, one of the like summer camp things. It was real tragedy. And the thing is on the Guadalupe River. The Guadalupe River at that area was basically dry day before yesterday. Then it came huge rains over the next 24 hours. And what I read is really shocking, was that the river level went from basically 0 to 30 feet in 4 hours. That's a lot. Oh, there I am. All right, now we're good. So anyway, I just thought that was just very tragic. It's very tragic that my Bayern Munich Reds have just lost to Paris Saint-Germain after PSG broke the ankle of one of our guys, one of our starters. It's the same in soccer as it is in American sports. It's the way it is. Anyway, all righty, what am I doing today? Pairing cigars and bourbon is like really a kind of a time-honored tradition. I don't have the face-following thing tracking me because it was always tracking me like that. And I couldn't get it to do it like that, where I'm like centered in the picture. So I fooled around with it for a few minutes and I'm like, screw it. Anyway, it's like a real time-honored ritual for those who really appreciate craftsmanship and complexity and a contemplative like indulgence. Few combinations rise to the level, of refinement as pairing the two things I have for you today. I have Woodford Reserve Double Oaked and the Oliva Serie V Melanio. There is a V series, but there's also a V series Melanio. Melanio, N-I-O, Melanio. This particular stick, the Melanio, Cigar International rated it, I believe, in 98. And both of these offerings are just revered by their respective realms as being just some absolute great representations of the craftsmanship and the level of refinement that I talked about. I think we're going to find just an absolute excellent depth and elegance and strength in the cigar, and I think it's going to be matched very well with the double oaked Kentucky straight bourbon from Woodford Reserve. So let's go ahead and dive on into the Woodford Reserve. Here's another look at the bottle. I'll look over here and see if I can, how can I figure out? Okay, I can see I'm the only one watching, so that's great. Wonderful. The Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, it is 90.4 proof, so 45.2% alcohol by volume. The mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. So I expect it to have a little bit of spice to it, but it's also got a really high corn content, so that should make it, it should have some sweet notes in it as well. It is aged in new oak barrels and then finished in deeply toasted and lightly charred second barrels. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a test. I love cork pops. Always try to get it up close to the microphone. Make it nice and loud. Glug, 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 glug. Not too much. Gonna go to the movies this afternoon. Gonna go to Studio Movie Grill. Sorry, Sadie. Gonna go to Studio Movie Grill where I can have an adult milkshake. Bailey's Colada, I don't know. Anyway, I had a BBC. It's got a Bailey's Banana Colada on Carnival Cruise quite a few years ago when I asked my wife to marry me. And I think that week, I think we had about 8 or 10 of those. They were delicious. They were wonderful. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. I'm kind of squirreling today. As you can see, this spirit is just a very, very deep amber, dark copper color, nice reddish hues to it. You would almost think it had red wheat in it, but it doesn't. But it is a beautiful spirit in the glass. I can smell the vanilla and caramel just wafting from the glass before I've even got it up to my nose. I have the ceiling fan on. I was out here the other day and it was just hot as hell and turned the ceiling fan on. It is cloudy and rainy ever so often now, and the wind's blowing a little bit, so you may hear that in the background. Anyway, on the nose. Oh, wow. Y'all are going to love this. Oh, okay, you actually want to hear it. All right. You do get a little bit of alcohol burn in the front of your nose. It's got a real rich, dark caramel aroma to it with really nice notes of vanilla bean. There's some toasted oak in there, and then maybe just a little bit of subtle baking spice, kind of the cinnamon nutmeg kind of thing in the background there. It's a really great, a great smelling spirit. I'm sorry if you're just listening to this on the audio. I'm still smelling. It is amazing. I've got the Glencairn glass, and you stick your nose down over it, and the Glencairn is funneled the way it is to get those aromas up into your nose and not lose any. But if you do it from one nostril to the other, you can pick up various different things, stronger or heavier, depending on which nostril you're in, that kind of thing. It's really amazing. There's a lot goes on in all this. It does have some really, really great notes of caramel. You almost get that kind of, caramel is kind of coaty and sweet, and you kind of get that in the aroma. It's a really great smelling spirit. But let's move on. It does have a pretty good kick of spice to it. I would say I get some really nice notes of like butterscotch, kind of lending to that. I was talking about that caramely kind of coaty kind of sweetness. It's the same kind of thing, just not quite as heavy. I get some chocolate, maybe a little hazelnut in there. There's maybe some, I said there was baking spices on the nose, maybe something along the lines of spiced apples. Because you get some of that baking spice in there, but you also have a little bit of like fruitiness along the lines of orchard fruits, like apples, pears, that kind of thing. It's a really great spirit. I've never tried the Double Oaked before. I've had Woodford Reserve, but not the Double Oaked. And then they also have a double oaked. I haven't had that one either. So, as far as the spirit goes, though, on the finish, it is a kind of a long finish. I'm still tasting it. It's nice and warm on your tongue. There's a little bit of kind of sweet oak kind of lingering in your mouth with maybe just a hint of like cocoa. really good spirit. Really good spirit. I think as far as the character, I think that second barreling imparts some additional deep complexity, which is like heavy on the I guess you'd say like dark sweetnesses, kind of that caramely butterscotchy, and kind of smooth on the tannins. There's not a lot of tart or anything like that. It's one thing I don't like about wine, is all the tannins. I like a sweeter wine. I don't like a dry wine, that kind of thing. It's soft, but it's assertive. And I think it is an ideal companion for kind of the fuller-bodied cigars. Now, the Oliva Serie V Melanio. This is the Robusto, and already putting the wrapper away. It is has a biller. That's kind of a binder and a filler together. A filler and binder that are Nicaraguan from the Jalapa Valley, and then it is cloaked in an absolutely beautiful, beautiful Ecuadorian Sumatra, and it is kind of a soft box press where it's got the rounded edges. I really like that better than the squared off edges. I'll smoke those too. One of my favorite Javas is a big fat 60 on the ring gauge that's hard corner pressed. And I love that cigar, but I do just kind of like the rounder edges better. Just, personal opinion. Let me go ahead and take the double band off here so we can get a little better look at this beautiful, beautiful stick. It is oily and elegant, very minimal veining. That's probably right there, the most pronounced vein, if you can even see that on camera. The seams are tight but visible. It's got this really nice kind of a light chocolate brown that is malted. It's kind of splotchy. So you can see there's some spots that are a little darker than others. And it is just an absolute elegant stick with a really nice double cap. Let's go ahead and give it a scent. I get some really nice notes of leather and maybe a little bit of chocolate in there. Some of the, maybe some coffee grounds, and just a hint of spices like baking spice and stuff like that. I think this is really gonna pair well with the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. So, I know what I'm going to do over here. Oh, I'm just sitting here, talking. There's nothing else to do. Just going to see. Yeah, I do have. All right, let me move that up there. Let me put that there. Oh, nope, that's not it. I'm sorry. I know I'm wasting time, but I am just, I got to thinking I need to be over on X. I'm watching on YouTube, and I generally don't have a lot of watchers on YouTube the first time around. There I am. All right. Now we're up. Yeah, hey, got a whole bunch of people watching over on X. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right, we're going to give it a cold draw. I just seem to be completely effing around today. Beautiful V-cut, my preferred cut, using the Cassetti multi-cutter. You got the V-cut, the guillotine cut, and a punch cut on the bottom. I love that cutter. My wife bought it for me in Little Havana down in Miami, along with some freshly rolled Miami cigars. Federico. I actually did, I think I paired the Federico when I got back. Really great cigars down there. If you ever go to Miami, go over to Little Havana. Go up and down to the cigar shops have you some Cuban food. It's a great place. I love it. Go there during the daytime. All right, on the cold draw. This one leads with some really strong notes of like raisins to me, like dried fruit. Maybe even a little bit of like yogurt covered or chocolate covered, like the white chocolate. It's got a little sweetness to it as well. I get some cedar, maybe a little bit of oak in there as well, and some nice notes of like mocha, maybe kind of a combination of like chocolate and coffee. Now, as far as the character of this cigar, it is known to be, like bold yet refined. It's really designed for complexity and balance. Oliva makes some of the best on the market. Like I mentioned a minute ago, this one was, I believe, a 98 on Cigar Aficionado. So they're doing something right if they're getting that close to 100. They're keeping up with the Padrones and Davidoff and those. I mean, these are some really great cigars. They do make some great ones, but they're not at the price of those. That's always really good. And you can find them in 5-packs, which is really hard to do with Padron. Davidoff, you can do that, but they're still expensive. You get a 5-pack and it's like $100. Well, I don't think so. I smoked a Davidoff. It's really good, but now this cigar, I don't believe is going to like overpower the spirit. I think it's really going to blend well, and it's going to just add some deep layers of flavor to the spirit. I think it'll kind of keep itself restrained, but it's going to have a real nice spiciness and kind of that rich tobacco, at its core. And I know I'm just sitting here just babbling on, so let's go ahead and fire this puppy up. I do not bury the cigar down into the flame. I keep it up out near the tip of the flame while I toast around the edges. And then when I put the cigar in my mouth to draw as I'm lighting, I get this tip of the cigar close to the lighter, but when I draw, I let my draw pull the flame to the stick as opposed to putting my stick down into the flame. You don't want to, like screw it up by over toasting it, And you can always go back and touch up the edges, whatever spots you think aren't exactly right. Now, the first draw really delivers a nice, spicy and woody kind of bouquet. I think it's really going to kind of mirror the toasted oak from the Woodford Reserve. I think I think it's going to pair very well. It is not a smoke producer. And I'm looking at it. I'll hold that up close. It just does not, it does not seem to be. Matter of fact, right there, you can see that there is actually tobacco leaf in the roll that is not even burning yet. It's very weird. It's absorbing the heat like a space shuttle tile. There we go. Now we're getting some more smoke out there. I pick up some really like earthy notes. There is some black pepper. There's some cedar. I also get kind of an oakiness to it. It's smooth and refined. It's not overpowering. To be a darker leaf is a very, very smooth cigar. I think it will definitely be accessible. I forgot what the word I'm looking for. You know, pretty much anybody can pick this up and smoke it, and you know, you get like newbies, and you want to start them off on the lighter like Connecticut covered lighter Connecticut wrappers, and then have them work their way up. But I don't know, this one you might just be able to jump right on out there. Wow. Together, you get, I mean, I would almost think of it as your mother, maybe your grandmother's kitchen in the fall, you know, when they're starting to kind of get ready for Thanksgiving. I just get like cloves and caramel. There's some espresso in there, maybe some kind of toasted pecans. I mean, it is just like you are smelling grandmama's kitchen right before Thanksgiving with all that stuff baking. Oh, this is wonderful. This is a really great pairing. I know the last week or 2 weeks ago, I did Wild Turkey 101 with Arturo Fuente, sun-grown Cuban, not from Cuba. That's just what they call the cigar, the Cuban. And the 101, it wasn't the best choice for that particular stick. I think that stick would marry with this spirit very, very well. This is probably about as high on the intensity level as far as, you know, the alcohol aroma, alcohol flavor, as opposed to just the tasting notes. This is quite a bit smoother spirit than that one was. I think it'd really pair well with that cigar. Sorry, I still had the spirit in my mind, and I was trying to say that word, and I knew I didn't need to. Yeah, and you get kind of the, you know, I said that the spirit has like orchard fruit, kind of like apples, and that just kind of marries together with the caramely sweetness and you know, cloves and baking spices. All this stuff goes together that it is just, it's a really wonderful experience. It is. When I watched that play, I was watching the Bayern Munich Reds, my Reds go against Paris Saint-Germain. And when I looked at Masala's ankle, I was like, oh, that thing's broken. They carted him off. Dude dove right into his ankle. That's bad juju. The bourbon kind of coats your palate with this kind of silky, caramely, vanilla goodness. And then the Melanio comes in and introduces some leather and some cocoa. and it creates a really great like duet in your mouth. I'm still stuck on Rafael Nadal and his aging room cigars, or everything's about music. You know, it's good. It is a good analogy. I think the Woodford Reserve's kind of viscosity, it enhances that smooth and oily character of the Melanio smoke. Neither one really dominates the other. Instead, they just kind of layer over each other kind of really harmoniously. It's really good. My YouTube froze up there. Oh. Oh, I can't have both of them going at one time. All right, well, I'm going to turn YouTube off. Watch me live on X so I can see everybody. All right, now where was that? I think the bourbon kind of softens the cigar's kind of peppery edges. The filler and the binder are Nicaraguan, which tend to be spicier tobacco leaves. And then I think the cigar kind of adds a structure and weight, a gravitas, if you will, to the bourbon sweetness. It is 72% corn in the Mashbill. I think after each sip and each draw, you get this lingering kind of impression of maybe like chocolate-covered nuts of some sort, maybe almonds, and either like burnt caramel, or creme brulee, and they take the torch and they kind of toast the top of it. If you just eat that off the top, kind of like that. I love that stuff. Oh, I mean, I love creme brulee, period, but I love that part of it even more. So there's just a luxurious experience going on with the finish on these two together that it really rewards you if you don't go too fast. Enjoy it. When I married Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez, she's the love of my life. It took me a while to find her because I had to do 20 years in purgatory with the first one. And I remember when we got married, the Reverend is an Episcopalian Catholic light, Catholic, diet Catholic, something like that. And he pulled me aside right before it started, and he said, "Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about who got a better seat. Don't worry about, is the flowers just right?" He said, "And you're standing up there in the front, and you turn around, and you see her step into that doorway. From that moment on, you think nothing about trying to record every single moment, every single inch of her coming down that aisle. You'll remember that forever. But you will not remember if Aunt Gertrude had a good enough seat or not." So, and he was right. Honestly, I don't remember much of anything about the reception except that our DJ didn't tell everybody that we were having a full meal. So we were out taking pictures, all that kind of stuff. And he's in there just playing music and all this, and people are loading up on appetizers. And we had enough food to feed 100 people. We were giving trays of fajita beef away and take this home, freeze it. You'll eat on it for a year. Yeah, it was wonderful. I will say, as much as I am enjoying this, it's like, and I know it's not going fast, but to me, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm already starting to get, where I'm at least kind of getting close to the halfway mark. I don't want this to end, But to kind of highlight the cigar, we get some nice earthy leather and some black pepper and some hints of cedar and oak off the light. The Woodford Reserve, we have just some really rich notes of like butterscotch and chocolate and maybe some the chocolate and hazelnut. We have Nutella. There you go. And then, something like spiced apple. And when you put these two together, it is really just a great experience. I guess you could say that with as good as these two are, you could probably pair them with just about anything. But I think together, they're awesome. They're very awesome. Nice little stacks of ash. It's got a fairly wavy burn to it, but not bad. It actually has been worse at some points. I've just been kind of watching it as I've been talking. Now I'm watching them talk about the Bayern match. I hate to see them go home, but now we got to get started with signing some players. I watch all this stuff on X. If you go to my X feed, there's probably more stuff about soccer than there is about cigars and bourbon. Sorry, but it does help me build a following because there are millions of soccer fans around the world, and they are rabid. So anyway, but I do love. My ancestry is German, South German, and so of course, you love Bayern Munich. That's just what you do. That's one of my bucket list things, is to go to Munich for Oktoberfest. I want to go and experience that once in my life. And then maybe get to do some, like, I've only been skiing like once or twice, and I'm not really good at it. I typically stick to the bunny slopes. Do a little touch up here just to see if I can take some of this wave out. Good Lord. The wind is pushing the flame right down onto my fingers. I don't like that. I'm not trying to light my fingers on fire. Speaking of lighting body parts on fire, I watched The Beekeeper with Jason Statham a couple of nights ago. First time I'd seen it. And dude lights this woman's trying to kill him. She's got a minigun in the back of her truck. And he ends up there at a gas station. He ends up shooting gasoline on her and lighting her on fire. That was cool. She brought a minigun, so he just brought a gas pump. I'm also noticing that on the retrohale, I'm getting some really nice spicy notes through my nose. Like black pepper, not like baking spices, real spicy notes. And I think, part of that is the Nicaraguan core in this cigar. You got to try it. You can try the Serie V and the Serie V Melanio side by side, and you can tell there's a difference. There is. Melanio is a little more expensive, but it did rate 98, I think. Cigar Aficionado. As we're kind of getting into the halfway mark here, because we're about there. I'm getting some kind of come forward, some nice notes of cocoa, and then toasted nuts. Not necessarily any specific kind of nut. But if I had to pick one, like maybe peanuts or almonds, not quite cashews. Cashews and pistachios are my favorite. But I would think this is a little more along those lines as opposed to a cashew. It's just, and there's been a little bit of a transition to kind of a sweeter wood and spice, kind of a sweet cedar. the Woodford Reserve is still doing an excellent job of underpinning the cigar and really kind of molding to it. They really play off of one another. The sweetness and the spiciness that each one of them have kind of melds together and creates one experience where they're not being opposites of one another. They're not kind of pulling each other apart, I guess, kind of what I would want to say. I'm afraid this is going to drop, but I'm really loving how far I'm getting with the ash on this. I love good ash. That's what he said. But I'm afraid it's going to do exactly like what happens almost every time. It's going to drop in my lap. I hate that. Years before I started doing this, when I first moved to Dallas, I lived downtown. A little 650 square foot, one bedroom apartment, had a little tiny, like 4 foot by 8 foot balcony. I had a couple of chairs out there, face west, so some beautiful sunsets. I'd go out there, sit on my patio. It wasn't covered, so it could get hot, and smoke cigars. And I burned holes in a whole bunch of nylon workout shorts by dropping ash in my lap. So I'm going to go ahead, as good as this is, and I don't want to do it, I'm going to go ahead and tap it. So you really want to hold on to it as long as you can, because that helps retain the heat and the warmth actually where the cigar is burning, because the ash farther out is already starting to cool. But it kind of acts as an insulator. And as I noted before, kind of the caramel and the vanilla and the spirit kind of coat your tongue, and then the Melanio kind of introduces some leather and some cocoa, and it just really creates kind of a nice sweet and savory kind of elegance. Great cigars, great spirit. This one is, there we go, out of the park. Dinger. And sorry, I went to the gym this morning. I wear a ball cap, and so I went to pick up my ball cap to kind of wipe the sweat on my bald head. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not a ball cap. That's my Stetson. Somebody said something about, I think it was Holtz replied to one of the Holtz cigar. They replied to one of my posts and said, yeah, I said that cowboy. Oh, it was a picture of what I was pairing that day. And they were like, yeah, nice touch with a hat. And I'm like, that's my moniker. That's what I'm known for. Nothing but Stetson. Nothing but Stetson. So I need a Stetson open road, Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez. It'd make a great Christmas present. The open road, you may be familiar with the movie Smokey and the Bandit. That is what Jackie Gleason was wearing, his policeman's hat, the Stetson open road. If you haven't heard, you may not be interested in soccer at all, but two brothers, both of them were professional soccer players, died in a car wreck in Spain 3 days ago. And one of them, he'd been with his partner for like 10 years. They had 3 kids, but they had just gotten married like a week and a half ago. It's terrible. It's tragic. Not only the fact that they were brothers and they died together, but that he had just gotten married, and all their kids, I think the oldest one looked like it was probably about 6, 7, and then the others were smaller. It's just terrible. It's tragic. But, and I can't remember what team it was now, the team they played on, or the team he played on. They played on different teams. The team he played on said they were going to go ahead and honor his contract and pay his widow. And I was like, that's good work. That's what you need to do. You know, it's terrible. Anyway. as we're going, and this is the great thing about cigars, is cigars change character throughout. Things come in, things go out, some things come forward, some things go back. So what is the predominant flavor in the beginning may not even exist in the cigar by the time you get down to the end of it. And that's one of the things I love about it. I tell people, I'm like, you can't really equate cigar smokers and cigarette smokers. Cigarette smokers smoke cigarettes for the nicotine hit. You don't ever see a cigar smoker sitting around like rubbing themselves like, oh God, I need a cigar. I've never seen that. Now I've seen them go, oh man, I'd really love to have a nice cigar today. But it's more about the experience, not about what's in it. I don't know cigar smokers that are addicts, I guess you'd say, of cigars. Where cigarette smokers, they're going from that one hit of nicotine to the next. Cigar smokers, it's more about the experience. I sit out here and I do this, and I love talking to you folks. I've got, I have something on TV, but I have it turned down. I'm only hearing me, and you go to a cigar lounge, sit in there, you may have somebody to talk to, but it's just like a conversation, just like we're having. It's about the experience. It's about enjoying, sitting down and tuning out life for a while and just enjoying a good cigar and a good spirit. And if you're one of the people that you've thought about it, but you never just really wanted to go ahead and do it, you should try it sometime. Go to a cigar shop, tell them, hey, I'm just really looking, the people at cigar shops, I forget what they call them, the tobacconists, they're there to help you. They're in there smoking cigars every day. I kind of wish I had a part-time job doing that. But listen to that in Fuego. Tell them, hey, I'm new into this. I just want to try something. Don't want something too strong. Don't want something that's going to, be like a long cigar, like an hour. And they'll set you up with a nice, mild cigar that's got some good flavors to it that, you can probably smoke it in, 30 or 40 minutes and just kind of dip your toe in the pool. And I think you'll like it. It's even amazing at the number of women that smoke cigars, and more every day. You go into a cigar shop. The last time I was in Fuego a week or two ago. I think like 3 different women came in while I was there. They, with their husband or whatever, and they got their own cigar and they sat down and they smoked it. It is not, while it is predominantly a men's club, it's not all men's club, and we don't care. But I can see I'm running out of time fast. So as we're getting closer to the end here, I think we've kind of transitioned again. And in the final half of the cigar, we've seen more like espresso come out, kind of a richer, more robust coffee flavor with some dark chocolate and just a really kind of deep and smooth spice core at the base. And then that is mixing very well, again, with the caramel and the vanilla and the different notes off of the Woodford Reserve. This has been, it could actually be my best ever. I still try to hold on to the Rocky Patel 60 and the Dalmore 12-year-old Scotch as my best ever, but this rivals it. It's right up there at the top. I think the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked and the Oliva Serie V Melanio, I think it's just a celebration of like richness and refinement, kind of resonance. They're both award-winning in their own rights. They are created with the maximum amount of thoughtfulness and attention to detail, and they showcase the art of aging and blending. Tap that off a little bit again. for the bourbon, for you bourbon drinkers, I think this cigar really highlights and kind of elevates Woodford's kind of toasted sweetness. And I think for the cigar lovers, this bourbon kind of tempers and really enriches the complexity and the body and the spice of the Melanio. This is really not a pairing of contrast. It is a pairing of complement, one to the other. It's an indulgence that is best reserved when you have some time to really just sit down and enjoy it and really concentrate on what you're taking in. As far as the final verdict, this is a connoisseur's delight. And it is ideal for you to be able to savor this just slowly and enjoy all the luxurious moments. I give it a 9.9 out of 10. 9.99, you know, I just won't give it 10, but this is right there. So I hope you'd enjoy this pairing as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify. Tell all your friends. This weird dude on smoking cigars and drinking whiskey, and I can really actually kind of learn a lot from him. But also go to the Amazon store, Sticks, STICKS -N-STONEZ. I've got Sticks-n-Stonez shirts out there. I've got this shirt that I have on. It's got Sticks-n-Stonez on the front of it with a great American flag, but on the back of it, it's got a soldier in desert camo carrying an M4, and it has the Isaiah 6:8 Bible verse on it. The Lord asked, "Who shall I send and who shall go for us?" And I said, "Here am I, Lord, send me." That's my best seller on the Amazon store. Sold a ton of them. Go buy you one. You'll love it. I know you will. People will be like, "Hey, I love that shirt." And I'm like, yeah, well, I made it. So, and it's on Amazon. It's not like you're taking a chance. It's Amazon. So, till we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, stones cold.